Hey, welcome to the Breaking 1000 podcast. I'm Mark Brewer, your host, and I got Scott Wilson and I got Hunter Wilson, and we're ready to dive in.
Come on.
So recently, we've been talking with pastors about meetings. In fact, as we were teeing up a coaching journey, that was the big topic.
Yeah.
Who should be in the meeting? How many meetings should I have? And how can I build an effective meeting culture? So let's go.
Well, everybody knows when they're in a good meeting, they're going, man, this is a great meeting. And other people, you're sitting there going, this meeting sucks. I mean, this is a terrible, I hate this meeting. Why do we have meetings?
Yeah.
I mean, you even have a whole trend of people going like, forget meetings.
Yeah.
Meetings are stupid. You know, well, I grew up with my dad being a great leader, but his only picture of a meeting was, okay, Hunter, what do we need to talk about in this ministry? Okay, Mark, what do we need to talk about? Or even the night before, he wrote down everything he wanted to talk about and did it. And he said, okay, I'm delegating this to you. And we're half the time sitting there going, when is it getting to my point?
One of the greatest meetings we ever had was when he started teaching us Spanish.
Oh my gosh.
You don't remember that?
Yes, of course I did. Do you know about that, Hunter?
Yeah, I know.
That dad was saying that, man, Texas, and this is how you talk, Texas is becoming a Spanish-speaking state, and only those who speak Spanish will be relevant in ministry. And so he went and got a course, one of those like soap opera video courses, you know, like what I'm talking about?
He was taking a Spanish 101 class at the local university and then got these videos.
And the whole reason why he did it, though, is because he wanted to have a way to have to practice.
The accountability.
Yes.
Accountability.
Yeah,
so he made us get an hour early in staff meeting to learn Spanish, which
he was teaching us. He literally was teaching us.
He couldn't even do it. I took 3 years of Spanish already, and I'm telling him, I said, no, that is not how you say azul. Yes, it is. It is how you say azul. No, it was terrible. So that's terrible.
Anyway,
But somehow y'all survived,
We did.
and we made it here today. So you're basically saying that inside of this, that a lot of times maybe the default for most people is bring everybody in the room, and we're going to go one by one, and it could go 45 minutes to 60 minutes where none of this relates to me.
And not only that, we'd get done, and then nobody even knew what their assignments were. Like, we didn't have that and accountability on it.
To even follow through.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the biggest changes for me is when my counselor, I was going to counseling, it wasn't even about this, but my counselor said, hey, tell me how you do your meetings. That was like a big, and I said, well, we do this. I work together, put it together. He goes, why are you putting together the agenda for the meeting? I said, because I'm the leader. He said, you think the president of the United States is waking up and or going to bed at night putting the agenda together for all the meetings? No, he has a chief of staff. He has people who put the meetings together. He's walking in the meeting. They have it together to ask him, what do you need? What's the decision you want to make? Here's the information. What decision? And I said, okay, well, how does that work for me? You need to have an executive who's putting the agenda together. You already have a template of how it's going to go through, and you can put stuff on there, but you have somebody, I mean, that was a big one for me. And I started going like, what other changes should we make to the meeting?
Yeah, I think that's a great tee up, because I remember that, and I remember like we really evolved this into 7 principles that we think go into creating great meetings.
I hope you can remember all 7 of them.
I wrote them down.
Okay.
I wrote them down because I think a lot of this, and it's even funny, it's like these 7 steps aren't an acronym. It's not something that we have to put up. It's something that by and large you create once, and then you reap the benefits of forever and always after that. And so what we do inside of this, when we help clients,
do you see how brilliant this dude is? He's already written down the 7 things. When I'm talking, he's got it.
It's because he's that good.
So inside of this, but I did do it. Don't let him know.
Don't let him
I
know.
Did it before the episode started.
Yeah,
but anyways, inside of this, what we want to do is when we help clients to really not have death by meeting, we really want to make sure that they're following these 7 things. So this is a two-way thing here, like 2 birds with 1 stone. 1, it's a way to audit your meetings. 2, it's a way to design better meetings in the same way. So first up, we want to have a clear purpose. Every meeting you have should have a clear objective, right? And I think this isn't, like, I don't think you need to overcomplicate this. It's basically just saying, why are we gathering? Because there's this great quote that I've heard. I can't remember who said it, but it was basically like, if you have 5 people in a 1-hour meeting, that's a 5-hour meeting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You can't ever get that time back. That is an invested amount of time that can't be gotten back that affects the organization.
And if you take a 5-hour meeting by the rate at which I pay you to be on set, that's expensive. And are you getting a return on investment from that time that you spent together because you can't get the time back?
That's a great question. Are you getting the return on investment for that time?
So we want to make sure that this meeting has a clear purpose going into this. Sometimes if it's a recurring meeting, I like to have headings that happen every single week, but the bullet points that go underneath the headings change according to the week that we're in, right? So sometimes if it's a recurring meeting, you have the same headings, like the objective is clear every time, but the bullets change every week, right? And then sometimes if it's just a one-off meeting, that means you need to architect and you need to describe a purpose worth gathering for.
Yes.
5 people, 1-hour meeting. This purpose is worth it to us. Okay. Anything you want to say on that or keep going?
Because I think not everybody's going to like, well, of course, a meeting for staff is to get us all in alignment of what we're doing. Okay, that may be, of course, but I'm not sure that everybody really has that in what you're doing. But to give an example, on our executive meeting, we had 3 purposes. Number 1 was for me to share any ideas I had or vision, share stuff that I wouldn't share with other people.
Yep.
Number 2 is you guys would bring me stuff that needed a decision to be made that I needed to make. So you would present to me, hey, we need a decision on this. And thirdly, it was to inform me of things that had happened or changed or stuff going on. Those were our 3 reasons. Yeah. Everything fit with those 3 reasons, and not everybody needed to be there, just the executive team for that. So I think that's important.
That's a recurring meeting, and those 3 headings stay the same, but the problems that you're facing, the ideas you have, is a bullet point that changes depending on the time.
Right.
Another great template that has the headings that stay the same, but the bullets change every week is like Gino Wickman, the guy that created Traction. He has his level 10 meeting. You can just Google that and download that template. That's a great template for having effective level 10 meetings, like 10 out of 10 type thing. So clear purpose, and it's a reason worth gathering for, right? Not just a write-up that you could have done and I could have made the decision offline, but we gathered for a reason. We gathered for an hour because your calendar defaults to an hour. Like, dude, is this a 15-minute meeting or is this an hour meeting? Okay, whatever. So clear purpose. The next one is making sure that you have the right people in the room. I think a lot of people get off on this because most people default to hierarchy, not the right people in the room. And I think, how do you determine what's right and wrong? Well, first of all, it's not based off a hierarchy. The reason you know someone is the right person to have in the room is if they're the right people to accomplish the objective of the meeting.
You got to know the purpose, then you're going to know who you need in the room.
Yeah. And the people in the room could be the intern, could be, doesn't make sense hierarchically.
Yep.
How do you say that?
That's a good one. I like it. Yeah, we'll go with that.
That's a new word. We should add it to the dictionary.
Hierarchically. Yeah.
You get it. Inside of this, you don't want to go off hierarchy. You want to go off who are the right people to help us accomplish the objective.
When you're saying hierarchy, someone might be missing it. But basically, hey, we have the lead pastor, we have the executive team, we have a directional team, we have the pastoral staff, So what I think I'm hearing you say is, just because people are at different levels in the organization doesn't necessarily mean that they're landing in this meeting.
Yeah.
Don't let that be the default.
Let the purpose of the meeting determine who's going to be in the meeting.
I think that's a great way to put it. And what we say all the time, it's so funny about this on meetings, is nobody wants to be invited to another meeting until they're not invited. Then it's the biggest injustice in the world of like, do you not like...
I admit that is a little bit of my issue. Anytime I see you guys in the meetings in the conference room, because we've got the glass in front of there, I'm like, well, what are they doing in there? So I do have a little FOMO, but that's across all organizations.
And the explanation we have is these are the right people to accomplish the right objective that we're trying to go after, right? The third thing here, so number 1 is that you got to have a clear purpose. Number 2 is you got to have the right people in the room. Number 3 is you got to have a skilled facilitator. A skilled facilitator. This is what you were talking about, Dad, is most people default to whoever is the highest ranking person in the room is the facilitator. I'm not so sure. I don't know if what I would want is to make sure that the person that is facilitating the meeting is representing the time. So, okay, if we have 14 bullet points we got to get through, we can probably accomplish that if each one has 2 minutes per topic, and they're watching the time, right? They're also making sure that we're not going off on rabbit trails that don't go to a conclusion that's worth an action step or a discussion that we need to have.
You know how hard it is for me as a lead pastor to be the facilitator of a meeting and engaging that I'm listening to everything. Like I need to be listening and I need to be making decisions. If I'm doing all that, you can't facilitate well and do all those things well. So the thing I like is somebody else. I don't like facilitating any meeting.
Yeah.
I don't facilitate any of the meetings.
You know, what I would want is for every lead pastor to be engaging with the content of what we're trying to talk about. Like, they're the ones that are actually helping to make the decision. They're not like, they should be worried about the decisions that we're making and the moves that we're trying to make, not how much time have we been talking about this. We have 14 minutes left to be able to, that's the facilitator's role, right? They're making sure that they're bringing out the best in everybody in the room.
But it isn't just what happened in the room. It's that they've got the information.
They're preparing it.
They prepared ahead of time. They've brought it. Like we talk about the 131 with our clients, is that don't come into a room and say, I need an answer. No, come in the room and say, hey, here's the problem. That's the one. This is what I need an answer for. Here are three things that I think you need, three options of how we could handle it. And this is the one I would recommend, but I want to hear what you have to say. So that's what a facilitator is coming in ready for that and making sure all that's ready for it.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and it really goes into number 4 really well. So we want the fourth thing that's an element of having an incredible meeting. Like every meeting you have is incredible. Number 1 is clear purpose. Number 2 is the right people in the room. Number 3 is a skilled facilitator. Number 4 is you have a fully prepared, collaboratively built agenda.
Right.
Okay, let's break that down. Fully prepared. That means that we're not going in and winging it. We're not spending 20 minutes being like, what should we talk about? We're not spending 20 minutes like just rambling on icebreaker type stuff.
Let me tell you what's not happening in our meeting. Somebody goes, I didn't know we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Nobody says that because we already have it written ahead of time. They've already seen the agenda. They've already put on the agenda what needs to be there.
Yeah. So in this fully prepared, we have it all baked out, and what we're trying to talk about in this meeting is not too much or too little. We have it fully baked out, and the time represents what the actual agenda is trying to accomplish. Meaning, if we need to meet, but it only should take 30 minutes, let's meet for 30 minutes. Don't have it as an hour on there, right? Just don't stick to the default of whatever your calendar system tells you what it should be when you double click on it and try to create a new calendar. Collaboratively built. This means that I have selected you to be in this meeting because you're one of the right people that we have to accomplish this objective. You know what that means? I want you to share your perspective inside of the meeting. I want you to actually help us accomplish the objective because I need you in this, okay? So therefore, the facilitator is the one that's making sure this agenda is being fully baked out by the time that we start. But that doesn't mean that they're the only ones that come up with the bullet points of what we're trying to talk about. So everybody that is in the meeting needs to send the facilitator everything that they think we should be talking about to accomplish the objective of that meeting.
So we have it on Basecamp, and we're all on Basecamp. I'm thinking about our directors meeting each week, which would be like an executive meeting at a church. Laura, who is the person who facilitates that, sends us a prompt days before and says, here's the agenda. If there's anything that needs to be on the agenda, let me know. Now, the thing is sometimes even if somebody says, I think this should be on the agenda, as a facilitator, she's working with me to say, do you want this on the agenda, or do you want it next week, or do you want us to handle it in a different meeting? So they're even the person who's kind of the gatekeeper to make sure what's in this meeting actually needs to be in this meeting. Yeah. That is so powerful.
But if you only have Laura that is creating the agenda items, we're missing stuff.
We're missing it.
Or if they're saying it, but I feel like, dude, I have to say this because you're blowing up the meeting because we're not preparing the agenda for it. I just have to bring it up and blow up the meeting.
Well, sometimes I'm telling Laura, hey, make sure Hunter is ready on this because I want Hunter to present this to people. So it's collaboratively. Sometimes we're saying, I need this on the agenda. Sometimes Laura's saying, you need to be ready to present this.
Yeah. All of this is helping us have meetings where decisions are made.
Yeah.
Where action is created and moved downstream. So it's forcing us to be a reading culture. So you're saying that, man, this is fully prepared, but it's also collaborative. There is a tremendous amount of reading that all of us do ahead of every meeting and dialoguing. I'm not just reading this, we're dialoguing. So we're coming to the meeting.
Yeah, this
ready
is
to
a
make
lot.
decisions.
This is a lot easier if you have like a software like a Basecamp or something where you can see the agenda in a thread, almost like it's like we have like a group chat, but only on this meeting's topic, right? And what I want to do is what I think is such a huge waste of time in an actual live, because again, 1 hour meeting with 5 people, it's a 5-hour meeting, right? What I want to do is I want people to be able to read my write-up before we get in there. Because if we have an hour meeting and I'm just winging it on a thing that I need to present to everybody, I don't have that fully fleshed out. First of all, I think when you write it up first and foremost, you're clarifying your own thinking.
Right.
You don't even know what you're trying to say until you actually try to write it. And then you're like, okay, what am I really trying to get across here?
Yes.
Right? The second thing is I can skim and look at the things that you're trying to present so that you don't waste 30 minutes of our hour-long meeting presenting agenda item number 2 of 12.
Right.
And we spend 30 minutes on that because you're just rambling. Go ahead.
We've already read it beforehand, and I've even asked, hey, I don't understand this part, or could you... I need more information on this. We've done that before we even came to the meeting, that I've already read the write-up. I already know it. I've already asked questions, and now we're coming in.
I think a way better use of time is, hey, we're on agenda item number 2. It's Mark's write-up on this thing. And be like, yeah, Mark, great write-up, by the way. It's very clear how you presented that. All right, here are my 3 glitches that I have prepared.
Yes.
That is way better use of time than Mark presenting his 30-minute presentation.
And almost every item, we already have documented our recommendations.
Yes.
So if I had the write-up, I documented my recommendation, but you guys and whoever's in the meeting have also shared their recommendations. So now we can get right to the core of it without a lot of discussion, except about our recommendations.
Do you know how many decisions we make? We make so many decisions and the reason why is because decisions are easier to make. Decisions aren't hard to make when you have the information. It's getting the information and looking at it at different angles that takes the time.
And that's where the rambling comes in. Because it's like, okay, this is important. I need you to understand every angle because I don't want you to rush to a decision real quick. So I'm going to present this angle and this angle and this angle. And don't forget about this. And if we do that, here's the possible repercussions. But when you do that asynchronously, where we're not in the same room to have clarity, it's going to save you so much time in your meetings. And that is a part of the fully prepared, collaboratively built agenda. So clear purpose, number 1. Number 2 is right people in the right room. Number 3 is skill facilitator. Number 4 is that agenda that we talked about. And then number 5 is write your own action items. I think in order to have everybody engaged, I don't want them to have a lean back culture of just like, hey, somebody's going to write this up for me. And I'm just sharing my thoughts, whatever. I want them to be leaning in. I want you to be taking notes. If I am delegating something to you and I don't see you write it down, dude, I am glitching. Like there's
you're not writing
no
this
way
down.
you're
How are
going
you
to
not
follow
writing
through
this
on
down?
that. The other thing too on that is number 6, write your own notes. And in this, I think notes are so contextual, meaning like we talked about this, something and discussed something for 10 minutes, right? But how it relates to me and my role versus how it relates to you and your role, you can't just have one person write the notes. You got to write notes in your own. What are the details that matter to me and my role in my context? So I want to write my own action items down. I want to write my own notes down. And I want everybody to do that.
Watch this. So I'm doing a pause right now because most meetings don't allow for a pause. But think how many times in our meetings we go, hey, could you hold on just a minute? I need to actually capture this. I need to write this down. And then we'll even ask for clarification. I'm writing this down, but is this what I'm writing down? Or is this how
I wrote down that you want me to do this. Is that right? Yes, but make sure you add that sub bullet to that, or it's
happens all the time. But you've gotta allow for, hey, hold on just a second. I need to make sure I'm capturing this. Is this what we just decided? Is this what we just clarified here? Is this what I need to do?
And the whole time Laura's writing it down, or whoever the facilitator is writing it down in the write-up that's going to be, these are the decisions we made. Here's who's going to do what, because that can go into an action item report at the end of the meeting that we know what's up.
And that's a great thing to even close the loop that you talked about with your dad's meetings in the beginning, is like, everybody's in the room. He's basically he's delegating his fear list to everybody of, here's the things I'm concerned about. Some people aren't listening for 45 minutes because it doesn't relate to them. Here's where it all comes back, and all the action items never get followed up on. That's the seventh component here, is all meetings start with a review of last week's action items.
Right.
What happens inside of these meetings is you have a great place for decisions to get made, but you also have an organizational catch where I don't have to micromanage you during the week. Let's say our meetings are at Mondays at 9 a.m., right? You delegate 4 things to somebody, and you want to know on Thursday, maybe the Thursday is the first time it comes to your head of like, are they doing that? Like, are they actually going to follow through on that? You have a decision to make. Are you going to go to their office? Are you going to call them? Are you going to do the things to where people feel, in your head, you just want to get the fear off of you, right? In their head, they're like, does he not trust me? Does he not know that I always follow through on this, right? What happens in a meeting is when you review last week's action items, you know who's really excited to give a report of last week's action items?
Everybody who did what they're supposed to do.
Everybody who did it. And they can't wait to tell you how awesome it went when they did their thing, right? The only people that glitch on that are the people that didn't do it, right? And it's such a great catch to know for you on a Thursday, I don't have to follow up. Monday's coming. I can wait 3 days.
Because that's the system. You've developed a system so you're not having to overmanage. You can spend your gearing on leading because the system has a catch.
Yeah. Okay, let me give a final thought here and just recap all 7, because I know we went each one on the bullets. I don't want you to get lost in the weeds here. Number 1 is you got to have a clear purpose. So that purpose could be recurring if the meeting's purpose every week is on a recurring basis.
Or if we have a special meeting, then hey, we're having a meeting. Here's the purpose.
Here's the purpose. And it has an ROI for it.
Yes.
It's worth meeting. Number 2 is the right people in the room. It's not based off of where they're at in the organization. It's the right people to accomplish the objective. Number 3 is you got to have a skilled facilitator, and most likely it's not the lead pastor. It's the person that is most likely going to help us achieve the objective and complete the bullet points of the agenda by the time allotted that we gave it, right? Number 4 is fully prepared, collaboratively built agenda. We don't just want one person's perspective of what we should be talking about. We want everybody in the room to share their perspective, and then you have one person that is deciding what is most important to have in this upcoming meeting. The other ones are the backlog that we can talk about in the future. Number 5, everybody writes down their own action items. Number 6 is everybody writes down their own notes, because the context is so important of how what we discussed affects me and my role, right? And the last one is all meetings start with a review of the previous meeting's action items.
And those action items that we're talking about there, where the facilitator wrote down the actions that we were going to do, and that's how we know what it is, and we're looking over that.
Yep.
Good landing. All right. So this hopefully helped you in being able to diagnose your meetings and set up for your next round of meetings that are coming. If you have a question, we like answering questions and providing responses to the key stall points and challenges you're facing. So shoot us over your question at hey@readysetgrow.church, and look forward to teeing that up in a future podcast. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Hunter. We'll see you guys next time.